Are we okay on battery? Does it look like
I don't know how much you got left. It's still flashing.
So we're going into towards the basement area. There's actually some lighting down there now. Is there anybody down there right now? Oh, okay, yeah, there's somebody down there. Don, I just got off the phone with Don Staggs, and he said that there was some type of dark energy. Oh, here he is now.
Hi.
Hanging out at the base of the stair.
There's something that's right here. Don made it.
So I was down here, I don't know, about an hour ago, by myself for just a small amount of time. I didn't spend a lot of time down here, and so I was able to come back in this room for a little bit, and did some EVPs back here, and then went back to the other room, and then went upstairs for a little while. So it's definitely probably a lot creepier without any lights on down here.
It gets dark quick.
Oh yeah.
It's weird to see with lights on. With lights on, it's just different, you know.
Yeah. So what was it, a trigger? I think something like that.
Yeah, we actually did, I mean, they do move around, but we're not sure if it's what causes them to move around. We can't actually call it paranormal. You know, we did get a shot of a ball. We were shooting at some cabinets one time, and there was a ball in the shot, like a shot.
Yeah.
And it moved, because we were shooting the cabinets, the cabinets was open close, and then we see the ball just kind of spin around. So that and the man baby are our best catches, I think.
So describe the man baby. That doesn't sound too cool.
Well, okay, it looks like a man and it looks like a baby. That's where it got its name, man baby. And I've been told it's elemental. It may be a worker from the other side. It never was of this earth. You know? Mark and Debbie Constantino have seen it. Of course, we have seen it through video.
Yeah.
That it's small, it's sinewy, like Golem, the creature on Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Kind of, and its arms reach way out.
Yeah.
And once it came to light, once we actually caught it on tape, we got somebody to do it. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
That's the thing I saw. So if it stood on its hind legs, maybe 3 feet tall.
So you guys have seen that in Mary's room?
Yeah, the bathroom by Mary's room. We had a web show, and we were like, we sent this guy up to get his camera work, Terry Campbell, and he was getting his stuff out of his box, and getting his equipment, and he didn't like to be in the house alone, so he was really scared.
Yeah. And
he just passed by the video, and he went downstairs. And we used to broadcast this on the web.
Yeah.
Well, these people were like stopping and pausing, and like, oh my God, there's something here. We're like, okay, we've heard again and again, oh, we've seen this, we've seen that, and we really appreciate their help. But mostly it was just, stuff they'd seen, matrixing. But then we stopped it, we saw it, and then it was like, okay, then people from the TV shows, and then everybody wanted to come see it, and everybody wanted to see the man baby, and the name is just, it doesn't sound that threatening, right? But it's all we had, you know?
Yeah.
Because it looked, well, one day I go, well, it kind of looks like a man, and Terry goes, well, it kind of looks like a baby, and so that's right.
So you guys were able to catch it on tape? So.
Yeah, video, and
nice.
it's on YouTube, and I know it's like, I don't know, 30,000 views or something. I'm not sure what's on.
Very cool.
Scary place out here is the crawl space. Like most crawl spaces, it's spooky. My mother had died, and like 3 days after she died, I come in here doing a show. Everybody's like, you're probably vulnerable.
Yeah.
Don't be doing this stuff. And I was in there, and I'm waiting for a friend to come by and jump out and scare him, because you do that, right?
Yeah.
And well, actually, you don't. But yeah, we were going to do it. And hey, my mom just died. I can do whatever I want, right? So I came out, and somebody grabbed my ankles and pulled me in, and that's why I fell out and cracked my head on the concrete right there. And so
you felt something physically, just like how strong was it? Was it pretty strong?
Well, let me see your arms. This reminds you of a TV show, but it was like this. So I'm laying in the hospital bed, and I'm thinking, cat. Another person in there. It can't be. I've never been physically moved that way.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't be real, right? I mean, touching and stuff was one thing, but and I lay there in the bed, and I'm like, okay, remember the thumb? So it had to be a person.
Yeah.
So I talked to my friends, like, no, it wasn't a person. And It wasn't a cat, and it wasn't all this stuff.
So how far does this go back
all the way
to the front of the house?
Correct. Yeah.
Can you
Only
get- can you get
if
the-
you're really thin, you can actually fit to that pole in the parlor. You can climb back.
Yeah.
And that's actually, we're turned all the way around, so it's behind us. So
So when Todd first acquired this place, was there a lot of like all artifacts as far as stuff that
Oh,
belonged to the
absolutely.
hospital and stuff? So does he
Absolutely.
have that stored away somewhere?
Yes. Yeah, he has his favorites. Pieces. He did an estate sale,
Yeah.
and it was weird because during the estate sale, people were buying stuff, and then they were calling Todd back saying, "Can you have this back? Because
Yeah.
weird stuff's going on in my house." It's
Yeah.
like, "Well, I bought this phone, or I bought this washing machine. There's a woman crying in my hallway."
that's
A lot of these stories, but he's got like an old tricycle and stuff that he's got.
There's a whole bunch of I don't know. Last time you were in the attic, there's a bunch of looks like money orders that say Clovis Sanitarium on them, and a bunch of paperwork that's just kind of scattered all over.
Yeah.
It looks like it was like some kind of a reception area. I mean, I'm sure that it wasn't a reception area upstairs, but it looks like they moved all that stuff up there.
Well, he didn't want to get rid of all the documentation of the house. He knew he wanted to keep it for some reason. Again, it has people's lives on it. So
Yeah.
that's just a tiny bit of it. That place used to be full
Yeah.
of documents and stuff, and razors, and people's stockings, and walkers. And over the years, he's met people, that have said, "Hey, my mother was there," and not over the years, almost daily.
Yeah.
People would say, "Hey, my uncle was there," or "My grandmother was there." So, and we looked at the records and we find out they were. There was a woman actually born here in the house, a couple of people, and she came to visit Todd. She's in her 40s now, and Todd showed her. She had a birth certificate. Todd showed her the record. For 40 years, she was using the wrong birthday. Yeah, so she was.
So, how much of the house was actually, or the addition was actually knocked down? Was it like double the size, triple the size?
The original house is still here. There's a couple pieces that were added on. A chapel was added on to the main house. That's been torn off. A couple other things have been added on. Of course, there's concrete stairs. This is from the original owners. The 14-room hospital on the back, of course, is gone now.
Yeah.
There was another 3-bedroom house in the corner here. So they had actually made this into like a
Little compound?
a compound, yeah. And he got rid of all of it except for this, and he even tried to get rid of this. It's odd that he didn't want a haunted house. Todd wanted a piece of land to build something else on. He was an investment.
Yeah.
But this thing has got actually into his soul. He's actually become part of this house and part of him.
Yeah.
And he pays whatever he has to pay to keep the land up and going. Even though he can't bring anybody in here, he just can't let it go. It's his baby.
Yeah.
And I think it's become that way with all of us now. It's all in our soul,
Yeah.
Wolf fever or whatever.
Crazy. Pretty awesome. So what is this cylinder?
That was a freshwater supply for the house. I believe there was a well out back, but this was a freshwater supply. I cut a hole in it, of course. We thought it was copper because we thought, we're rich, but it's not. This was the freshwater supply for the hospital.
Now, what are some of the, well, besides what happened to you, some of the crazier things that you've heard happen to investigators or people who have come down to the basement?
There's a thing in haunted tours, you probably know the term already because you do this, it's called pitching. It's when a guest comes on a tour and they get more than just scared. And it becomes where the person could be harmed, or they can't stay, they faint, or they pee themselves, or whatever. Right where you're standing, I had a couple football players from the local college come with their girlfriends, and they're teasing them and poking them, and they paid for the tour, and the girls are like scared, and they're scaring them and everything. All of a sudden, this guy, wherever you're at, he's like, "They're all around me, they're all around me." He's batting his hands, "They're all around me." And I'm like, "Okay, dude, calm down, or you're scaring the girl."
Yeah.
And he goes, "No, dude, you don't understand." And I looked down, he had peed all in front of him. Well, that's pitching. He couldn't. The only cure for this is to get a person out to where they hear the traffic or the fresh air, and reality kicks back in.
Yeah.
So I had to take this big, huge guy, because his friends bolted, and get him outside. So of guests here, that was one of the worst I've ever seen. And he got outside, he couldn't breathe.
So at first we thought he was joking.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because he's been doing it all night.
Yeah.
He's been poking the girls and jumping out and scaring them. Just real crappy behavior, but you paid for the whole tour.
Yeah.
So that was one of them. Another one is we had a girl, a friend of mine, collapse at the top of the stairs. And again, You've seen it all. I know you have, because you're in the business of tours where people may just pretend, like we thought that guy was doing.
Yeah.
This girl fell, smashed her head on the upstairs. She's very sensitive. I can't say her name, but she's very, very sensitive, and she's out there. People would know if I said her name. She was wearing a skirt, and she's very prim. She's not prim, but she's proper. She doesn't, she's not, that kind of way. We carried her. We had to carry her spread eagle down the hall. Down the stairwell.
Yeah.
Now, if she was faking it, this girl would not let us do that to her. Dress up, panties showing and everything. We got her outside, fresh air, boom, she came out of it. So we have, from the pitching all the way down to the simple being touched, we've had people bolt out of here. We've had people say, oh, this place is so fake, screw this, we'll walk off the tour. We've seen it all.
Yeah.
But to see somebody actually be overwhelmed,
Yeah.
myself, I've never been there.
Now, do you think that certain spirits from this location can travel to other locations? I heard, well, I was with somebody last night that had some experiences here, and it's a location called the Broken Bit, and they said that they felt like maybe some of the spirits from Wolfe Manor, I don't know how they made their way over to that location, but
well, it's attachment, and I believe that certain things. There may be an entity here that recognizes you, or thinks they recognize you from maybe a war buddy, or they just like how you are.
Yeah.
They like you so much that they're going to go home with you. We always do an end prayer. It's not really a religious prayer, but it's just like, hey, don't follow me home kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because my house went nuts when it first came here. We saw things that we were just like, my family reacted differently. Me and my wife didn't get along. The kid was afraid to go to school. All these weird things were happening, and we had a cleansing.
Yeah.
We brought objects back here that were from my house, and in a moment it changed. So I strongly believe in attachment. I think that that we are who we are, and we own this plane. This is the Earth plane. Okay, we are Earthlings. They are guests on our plane, but we are guests in their home. So they live here. There's some sort of they may like you for who you are. They may not like you for who you are and go with you. If there's a theory that ghosts and spirits are different. Ghosts are people that are like die in tragic accidents or suffer, and spirits are people that just can go anywhere they want.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'd go here, but I'd go to strip clubs and NFL games. But I may be attracted to you on the other side, and I might take off and follow. I've had people have left here and come back and say, "There's something in our car."
Yeah.
And so again, you have to kind of weed out. But when they say something that only I know or Todd knows, they're like they pinpoint a certain thing that's happened in this house. You won't see a lot of stuff on the web of this house. We don't share a lot ourselves. We do our little shows and we do that kind of stuff, but the deep down stuff that you don't even know and may never know, there's things that have happened here that we don't share for that reason. And when people come up to us and they hit on that, just your average Joe or Josephine, it's pretty trippy. So they're getting messages even though they're not psychic or whatever. Yeah.
Wow.
You got 5 minutes.
Okay.
To the 5-minute room. That's perfect. But we'll get this thing under control here and we'll get it up and running. Yeah, so Todd didn't hit me up at a time for tomorrow.
Okay, we'll play it by ear. Hopefully,
I think
just tell
Todd's
us.
interview will be a lot better. Because you're stealing my thunder. You're stealing my thunder, Scott, from the stew. How's Todd?